Oh, it's another beautiful morning here in the majestic mountains of Panama, where I come to you from this morning with a message about complete fitness. You're going to be impressed with this message of complete fitness and the depths of the dynamics of it, and understanding of which I gained living in nature without a phone and a bank account for 7 years. Now, without insane challenges to overcome, all challenges being opportunities to build strength, I don't think I would have gained that understanding at all. I don't think I would have gained the understanding I'm about to tell you when it comes to complete fitness and ultimate natural power that could be obtained by us, right? The nutritionaldiversity.com diet, and also diverse adversity as the prescription for a Jedi, pretty much, right? Please don't get caught on any mouth sounds that I'm making, any semantic arguments or words or uncrossed T's and undotted I's in this. That being said, I want to progress in life, and I have used some raw language to describe some raw people that do some raw behavior. You are what you do, right? You tell lies, you're a liar. You're an honest guy. You're a valiant, dependable member of the community. It is what it is, right? So I just kind of call things what they are. And a lot of people don't realize that I do forgive people who have trespassed. I don't only forgive them, I thank them. I understand completely that in this holodeck training module for our souls, this test of free will, true colors are definitely coming out. Mike Tyson says in Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson that on his DMT experience, follow me here, I know I'm jumping around, but that's what adventure is like. You jump around. You know, you guys have a lot of people have been programmed with stationary disease. We've lost our ability to roam. I met in Philadelphia guys who hadn't left their block their entire lives, and they were 60, their urban area. Wild. Mike Tyson, DMT experience. He says, everybody could see all of my stuff. Quantum physical science and study of consciousness shows that likely an near-death experience also support that you get a life review in this cosmic download like instantaneously, right? So all of these things are pointing to our bandwidth being clipped for this test. But eventually we'll be able to see it all. And your true colors, just like the disciplined self-help community says over and over, that's what you do when no one's looking, you know, because we're all cheap, superficial subscribers to attention from others. Not me, right? To where you know, we're more interested in the credit. You know, can you give without credit, without some sort of credibility given or something like that? Buenos dias, muy buenos dias. Buenos dias, buenos dias. And so anyway, psychological, spiritual, physical, emotional, intelligence, operational, right? Upgrades is what we're looking for here on this channel in complete fitness. You know, you're already on the path, and so this is just one of these little things here, if you found it, that illuminates as you walk that path. So let me say, good job for walking that path. Now, if you can refine it, you can refine your cream, your purity, all the way down to being super transparent even when no one's looking. This astonishing, valiant individual. Well, we didn't realize this before, but we realize it now. And thanks to Dr. Masaru Emoto's 2008 water pictures, you can see examples of this, but you atomically, molecularly change into, and I'm giving a lot of references here, so I'll put links below, to what Chris Langley, this guy who has an IQ of 200, who wrote a theory of everything, a TOE, he says you've got to be it to connect with it, right? And that's what we're told in the scriptures and everything like that. Now, I understand that I'm a fitness channel and this is getting a little bit esoteric, but I started this episode by saying the ultimate natural power that is available to all of us, right? And it's been available to all of us for a very long time. Those of us who have enough wisdom, who are already on that path to gain more wisdom, who already recognize a little bit of the situation and that we want more of it, right? Listen, from the time I was really interestingly selected by hardcore challenges, all right? I'm gonna go real fast here because we're not gonna get stuck. But I had and listen, if you're driving in a vehicle, don't make any sudden movements. And this will be the one terminology, and I'm not gonna say, and from this point on, literally, this video right here is a real live active ritual. Thank you, Eric, this morning in the mastermind that we do every day, burpees and mastermind every day. Hey, muy buenos días. And so, he really lit me up today. And this is something that everybody's been lighting me up about. All my good friends that give me the hard truth, tell me the things that other people would be afraid to tell me so that I can make the corrections that I need to make. See, I really think of, keep following me, Jesus was kind of more of a tougher guy than a lot of people portray him and even paint him. I'm really thinking of this muscular dude who didn't put up with BS, who spoke such truths, such hard truths that they've echoed through the eternities. They will echo through the eternities. We're talking about the biggest example, the most wide birth impact of goodness that has taken place on this planet, on this life, on this earth, on this experience, right? Holodeck training for, look at that picture. Look at this beautiful place, right? Links below for more details on this lands here and the opportunities to tend and steward nature inside of the reality prescribed by God, the realist world prescribed by God, and doing goodness. Okay, so following this extremely bright example, he wants us to be that bright and set that much of an example, which we're doing right here with alternative agriculture, spearheading this whole new revolution, catching us up on ecological enhancements that we should have been doing decades back, but now the technology here in 2026 will allow us to do it, and we're jumping on because we've got clear minds. We've got clear intentions, ladies and gentlemen. Intentions are everything. So you have good intentions, right? You want to be this new father. You're lit up like a candle. You have these great intentions to do this farm. You have these great intentions. Oh, I'm going to change my life and get into self-development, right? Something comes behind you in that. We all know what I'm talking about. You get a pat on the back when you start doing the right thing over and over and over a period of time. And especially if you're coming from a real hard place, or you're not getting response from it. You're getting lots of small, jealous-minded hate. Let me explain to you something very esoteric. Now you are in the magic zone. If you can be valiant enough to walk alone, do the right things, tell the truth that are hard, that most people don't do, all right? And you can do them from coming from the ghetto, right? Coming from being a throwaway kid, coming from being locked up your whole life by a fucking whore of a mother who got money off your head, took people to the cleaners and never told you who your real dad was, right? Or him. You see what I'm saying? This is everybody now, 9 dimes in the row. And I'm not going to say, and I'm going to clean up my language from here going forward. I've always thought of Jesus being this really hardcore dude that tells people what it is. You know what I mean? But I've been told over and over that I should be classy and cleaner with my language. And man, did I have to be told so many times. It's like, listen, why? And I'm not going to get stuck here. We're going to roll right through this. Right? Because these people have taken, their black holes have taken enough of us, right? But these people who do child abuse, they criticize my language when I'm describing the child abuse. I would never have the language if it wasn't for the child. You pay attention to the child abuse and not my damn language? But man, we're all wanting to escape the hard stuff. That's what this video is all about. You've got to build complete fitness. What's the most powerful way? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am the #1 testimony, man. So breaking out of a juvie jail and escaping my hometown, Albuquerque, New Mexico, with another escaped convict who showed me this hustle. We were making like $300 to $1,500 a day a piece when I'm 13, romping all over the country, never in no place but for 2 weeks at a time, staying at Marriott's, smoking the best stuff, sipping Seagram 7. Damn, I didn't even... You remember new details every time you tell a story, huh? Anyways, this guy gave me this Jedi training, you know, he was this iron buck. No girls throwing themselves all over him. Super hustler. Had so much game, right? And he gave me this Jedi training. And he would talk, you know, angels were perched up somewhere watching these two. This kid and this guy who could recognize the situation the kid was in, took him in, showed him it just so happened to have a hustle that this kid could, really could fit into, right? This wild, one-of-a-kind thing. I appreciate it so much. And without my mom locking me up, that would have never happened. So I thank her, right? I don't just forgive her, I thank her. But is she a lying, child-abusing, and grandchild-abusing whore? Yeah, that's what she is. But I'm not going to call her that no more. Maybe I will. But not on the videos. You know what I mean? I mean, to me, a hardcore guy gives credit where it's due. It's our failure to give credit where it's due. Right? But Eric says, with growth and with expectations of society and being loving, I might not want to clean up some cow dung and mix it with some other stuff to make some superfood for my plants, but I do it because I want these plants to grow. So if I got to clean up for my message to be better, okay. But I just want to let everybody know that don't let clinical terminology, rewrite things in your mind. You don't really know anything. You're seeking to gain knowledge of things in this life. That's what we're supposed to be doing in this beautiful life. See, those are the best cows. I educated an oligarch on the system that I'm using, and they're like, here's my private chef's number. I will be messaging him, telling him, I don't care what these people's prices are. I want my rich kids eating this beef. You know what I mean? You can do a better job. We can all do a better job. That's complete fitness. I wrote an abstract, link below, called Complete Optimization. Everything in nature is trying to optimize. It's trying to get stronger. That's why we came here as a cultivator. I can tell you that, right? As having experience, not as studied in a classroom with an iron shirt, out here, dirty, covered in, completely obsessed, doing the true love and not acting like it. See, they want you to be in this actor, fictitious, pretty politically correct language world, but that's not the world we live in. Out here, nature has an edge to it. You need to have an edge to you. You want to cut through life like nobody? You want to fry all the small jealous minds too? Let's just call it what it is here. That's all I'm going to do. And it's a great way to go because honesty is the best policy, number one. And number two, I churn all the little babies that will never be able to run through the jungle with me anyway out of my process. I've got cream. My whole team, indigenous to extranjero, is completely disciplined, man. They're completely happy to be a part of this. They're completely on this path on their own already. And they found this as a step illuminating it. See that house right there? It's time for me to tell people, not only am I going to be working with a UFC fighter this year, or in a couple of them, doing the nutritional diversity superpower, but I'm also going to help some people get a place like this on a plot of land like that, where you can have 50 of your own cows. My friend manages them. We all, there's a whole system in place down here, and it's cutting edge. And you've got plan B, the best plan B there is, and you're doing your karmic responsibility, tending to the earth more responsibly than major academia has these people damaging the earth all crazy. I'll show you monocultures. We have a retreat down here. Come down, Renacimiento retreats. You'll feel like everybody feels after 10 days better than you have in a long, long time. That's for sure. Some people better than I've ever felt. Holy moly. Some people is like, wow, I'm on drugs. Yeah, it's just all natural superfood and from the jungle. Woo-wee. We repair all kinds of stuff, including extreme PTSD. Not heal completely, but repair a bit, treat. I'm not a doctor. Shoot, I am a war hero though. I'm a veteran, honorably served, accommodated by my strike group admiral. And so superstar these days, there tons of small jealous minds try to take that away from me. So I mentioned it a couple of times only for that. I do believe success is on the other side of ego. I think ego is a total trap. It causes people to do the worst of things. In the face of that, I've galvanized myself against all of that stuff, and just right there, Law of Polarity, married, galvanizing completely against lying. I'll let you fill in the blanks. I won't use the word again, but I had a Freudian slip. So I had all these wonderful women in my life, but this one copy of my mom, they're both copy of Amber Heard, comes in, and I'm glad a life exists today. But holy shit, has it been horrible watching the wing clipping, freaking stupid Jerry Springer. Anyway, right on to the next. But like I said, Law of Polarity. So next time you see your big challenge, smile real big, because you're going to get the biggest strength you might not have ever wanted to get. Right? And listen, back to the beginning. I'm trying to come back to this, because this is the root of all goodness. The name Jesus Christ holds such power, man. Every time I've cried out, it's like angelic chess pieces of people are moved around. They could have never been moved around. People now, they don't even believe I was in the military, right? Because the people that knew me growing up, they're like, yeah, that's not where you weren't in it. You didn't go get the, because they knew I was something I was a completely different model before then. People can change, but people who have never changed ever, they're the same thing they were when they were 17 now, and they're fucking 50 or whatever. Dude. And that's what I mean. So we're going to be logical here, right? Like Mike Tyson. Dude was a millionaire. Came from the super hood. Very dynamic, wide bandwidth, complete diverse adversity, complete experiential diversity, complete strengths. And he wants to be a good person. And he tries to be a role model. And he is a great role model. And he had a great role model come into his life. My favorite Mike Tyson quote is, no Custo Amato, no Mike Tyson. Right? And that's true. I wish I had a Custo Amato, and looking back, I did. I had the Jedi superstar and so many other angels just like that. Right? Okay, so, well, anyway, logically, we can figure with this guy having such diverse experience, he'll probably have a deeper DMT experience. So let's pay attention to what he says. You know, let's pay attention to look, you're either going to figure it out, and it's a perfect test now that I've gotten the dynamics like that you can see out in nature, that crystalline, just remember I said this, you're not going to understand it. Crystalline, 5-dimensional beauty is constructed off of man's good deeds all across this world. They actually all work together and connect up into this beautiful crystalline structure. Negative, however, is quite the negative, not beautiful, bleh, horrible looking structure. And we can go into little details like round, horrible looking, right? Or just different, different. I could go down in just structure pattern, behavior structure pattern analysis as well on living beings that can make you a Jedi of life. But right now, let me just start with the very basics, man. And we OGs, we triple down on the basics, man. All right? Jesus Christ. There's one way to know in this life, and that's experimentalism. So I challenge you, you might already know. Good. Now's the time, ladies and gentlemen, that we all come together under the real banner, man, under the real leadership, now under the real good service, and really,
Give me one beer.
dale, otro día. But yeah, devil culture's everywhere, man. I'm in the middle of beautiful nature. I'm about to tell you to reach down into your soul and put your soul into it, Some guy's real proud that he can say, give me one beer in English, right? Okay. And down here, let me tell you, man, there's no circus, there's no amusement park, but beer and sugar shack, every other two. Anyway, listen, to me, the main thing is that we don't get distracted. There is truth and distraction. That's all there is. Deception is another word for distraction from the truth. And that's your destiny. Your destiny, your true highest destiny is your ability to find the truth in all the situations that are in front of you now and live those truths. If you live deceptions or distractions, you're not going to get your destiny path. You're going to be some contorted, fucked up, cancer pattern looking shit. You will, all right? And it's sad when you're screaming at people this stuff and they just go right down into exactly what you're trying to warn them against. But there's only so you can lead a horse to water, and people got to get their own experiential diversity, and we've got to be patient, and not everybody's going to cross. We're going to lose some of our lovest ones, and that might be a strength that we've been called to build in this training module. Take it on, man. Take it on. All challenges, opportunities to build strength. You're going to overcome. Everything is going to come from within, and it's going to stay within too. You're not going to fix anything with any sort of outside material. Back to the beginning of this video, definitely not outside approval. That shit is it is a mistake to concentrate on that. You know what you're supposed to do. That is a signal and guidance from God. If you fail to do it because you're distracted by all this other dumb shit, and you can't check all your boxes, which is your baby boo-boo first step to being a Jedi, you just know how to be a Jedi. That's fine. That you own that. You own that. And we do need you. The evil on this world is real. It's everywhere. I can cut, a segment of society, I'm going back between esoteric and reality here. Reality, that is esoteric here. It's all reality here, actually. This whole thing is really the most solid shit you're going to see on the internet today, this week, this last year. For sure. All right? Up there with the top 10. I don't like a proud person. I don't want to be one either. Success is definitely on the other side of your ego. But stepping up to the plate and delivering solid messages is something I'm working on, thankfully, with the coaching of great friends that give me hard truth. Snake, Raul, Eric, AK. There's no superstar without a superstar team. But listen, I'm your fellow journeyman. I will never be anything other than your fellow journeyman. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a vessel. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a guru. I'm just showing you what worked for me. I'm your fellow journeyman. I'm never going to come at you any other way, ever. And I just, my teacher is the grand teacher. It's not you. It's not going to be any of you. You're my fellow journeyman. See that? I give credit where it's due. Even if you give you more credit than you deserve, right? And sometimes we depend on you being strong with us. In my last video, I was talking about how in Philly, I really wanted to help these guys. But they didn't have enough wisdom to want more wisdom. It was like I was pushing it on them. It was like I was carrying them. There's balance and dynamics to all of this stuff. And 2026 is about you. 2026 is about me. Thanks to our stoic associate in the outer rim of kind of the good bursts, some of us will be more extreme than others. Some of us will know that we're supposed to go back to nature, that it actually says that in the Bible. Raul just telling me that yesterday. Thank you, dude. As soon as he sends me the scripture, I'm going to put it down here. I didn't even know that. I knew Genesis 1:29. I give you all seed bearing plant because I've been doing that for 8 years. More than anyone on this planet's been doing it. And I healed PTSD and people are like, you're intense. You've got a lot of energy. That's because of my diet, man. That's because I've always been intense and I've always had a lot of energy because I've always had big challenges. That's probably the precursor to how I figured this out anyway. How I earned the right to receive it. Because all this shit exists way before you, dude. You just get access to it by the good or the bad side. Both sides can promote you. And you got to pick a side or else you're just going to get bashed against the rocks. You're going to be riding the fence, man. That's the worst deal in the simulation. And you can be a valiant dude. And yeah, every non-valiant person will be like right away as soon as you say that. They'll be whatever. That's what a narcissist says. Listen, it's a dynamic identification. There are narcissists which are just that's just clinical description for soullessness. They're people who can lie to you. I actually am not capable of lying to my loved ones. I'm not capable of that. I can't do it. I galvanized myself against those kinds of ... a long time ago. And I went out into the jungle because 98% of everyone out here is those ... They want you to be an NPC or an NPD. Not they, him. There's a real devil. I'm not stupid. Listen, I can sit in. I tell this to you. See, nobody knows this, but let me tell you this: dynamic, high-powered, ultimate strength shit right here. All right. When you live out in jungle, you'll see there's a lot more than meets the eye. Right? There's shit out there that we just don't have organs to interpret. There is negative spiritual entities in the jungle. You can't see them, but you can feel that shit when it comes through. There are positive spiritual entities in the jungle. When you're living out in the jungle, not only are you covering yourself with a flute, with a cocktail, an oil that you make that has a bunch of stuff in it to keep the mosquitoes and bugs off of you. My first round, I was telling Eric this morning, I had fucking bot flies and skin-eating parasites taking over my whole face and my armpits and my, my crotch, man. Not to be graphic, but, all of that, right? Horrible. You couldn't walk, you couldn't smile. Shit called Papa Lamoya, all this shit. I still have it. There's this hardcore stuff out in the jungle, but I've learned to treat it. I could take an antibiotic shot for that. Fuck no. I probably get some kind of superpower off of it. Anyway, Because my system's constantly dealing with this hardcore thing in the blood. I like it. It's my parasitic symbiosis. Anyway, so, you know, you got to do a lot of dynamic stuff. You get up early, you pray. I was praying, man. I couldn't have done it without the Lord's protection. No way. In fact, a story you wouldn't believe, let's just say, because I don't want to kill my credibility. But with the name Jesus Christ, I backed off an evil that was on all over me and fucking paralyzing me and shit. And I say Jesus Christ and then it's off? The hell? So listen, you learn about all the depths and dynamics there. There is a shit there, right? And you're doing all this stuff now. So obviously the devil removed us from the city so that we're no longer doing those practices and we're much more susceptible to the toxicity, the black magic substances going around, the Diddy TV television Diddy programming, pants sagging, dress wearing, hair dyeing, all this weird shit. I don't care, be an individual. If you feel that that's you, but if you're taking it from Hot Topic or whatever other dispensation that is controlled by the corporations, well, hello. If you're eating off of their food supply, hello, do you think they eat off of that? Said the guys at the rich people. No, I'm telling you right now, they spend the big bucks for the best, right? And when you're the spirit tip of that only exists on the pockets that you manage, wow, that's powerful, ain't it? Anyway, but people can't test too much for someone's senses for a small investor. I got to get in front of the big guys. We were talking about that today. So we'll be doing these big marketing direct houndings, right, Snake? You know what I mean? We're going to be fucking striking. The coiling has been going on. This strike is going to be so hardcore. 2026 is the year you're gonna watch fireworks. I promise you right now. I'm telling you right now, this is it. This is 15 years of cream churning. This is 15 years of spiritual warfare. This is 15 years of overcoming, not becoming, having to go to the jungle, get rid of a phone and bank accounts. Dude, I didn't even exist. I've got perfect credit again. They were like, how are you fucking 4X years old and you don't exist in the system? Because I've just been living out in the jungle for 10 years to not kill 10 people. And to be honest with you, I should have killed them. And I'm still dealing with it. And I still wake up with that Papa Bear DNA in my blood because they fucking kidnapped and abused my child. That's gone. She's gone. She's lost to me. That child does not exist anymore. Do you understand? I have overcome some shit. As your fellow journeyman, I have been through fucking hell. And I'm from Albuquerque. Watch the Bad Breaking series. I've been a hardcore slugger for a fucking long time. If you're gonna get behind somebody and you want to be a true person, now this is your opportunity. And we've seen all the fakes. We've seen all the fucking narcissistic personality disorder next level that could just lie to us extra good. We've seen these fakes. And they claim they're right under God's, and they say there's no lies in love while they're lying to us. And they're right under God. Who can make that claim? You got to pay attention to these little dynamic details. I saw it long before, and once again, like every time, I should have paid attention to the signs. Can you read the signs? The signs are there. I should have paid attention to the signs and made the switch earlier. I'd be a little bit more proud of myself. But I made the switch earlier more than most. I figured it out more than fucking earlier than most. It wasn't at little cost, and I'm thankful for the fucking whole thing anyway because so much good actually came out of it because of the choices of us. Not that guy, the choices of us. Every good deed you do becomes part of a crystalline 5D beauty out in the world. Remember that. Remember that this guy told you that. If anything happens to me, remember that. Yeah? And listen, if you can purify and galvanize all the way and polarize against the bullshit, you've had enough. Once you get there and it's legit, now the rocket ride really starts. Law of Polarity. You've got to go completely against all lies and liars. And if you have big lies and big liars in your situation, smile real big because as soon as you get over this bump and not become the bump, become one of these fuckers yourself. You know what I mean? And you marry to Jesus for real, not use his name as a cover story. not use the commitment. That's why I don't talk about them very much. I don't want to talk about them very much. I'm talking about them in this video because timing's everything in the fight of life. And I can tell that this is the time to be talking about them right now with somebody that's in my audience, or for some reason, if I only can help one person, just like my homeboy, my new cat. We're both from Albuquerque. We're both, I think, born in the same fucking hospital and brought together by another oracle of our times. I give credit where it's due, man. I recognize who's who on the positive spectrum of the... And we are oil and water with the fakes, dude. Weak and strong are not natural enemies. Take it from me. You gotta get tougher every single day. That's what I need to see, because if you're not growing, you're dying, and that's the truth of it. You're not living up to your blessing. You're not communing gratitude anymore, you know. Am I answering my call good enough? Should I be making more? Jesus Christ, after everything those prayers have done to me, should I be saying that more? I probably should, really. I don't know what to do, man. What do you think? I'm just your fellow journeyman. I would say that my real, legitimate, not lie, cumulative, diverse experience is my rank, or my seniority, or my respect in the tribe, the amount of feathers I get to put in my headdress, whatever mouth sounds you want to come up for this. But can we please recognize each other on merit, not on monarchy and fucking mentiras, and that's lies and deception. Everybody's little prince and princess of deception, NPD or NPC. It's a perfect opportunity for you and me to be extremely recognized and spirit tipping. And my boy Raul's got me sipping from the rap game. It's not even my thing. But you know, when you got the gift of tongues, there ain't nothing, there ain't no song unsung. You know, we get the access that we earn, and we get the purity that we churn. And things like the gift of gab. Oh, bro, don't you pick up so much of that in rehab? It is truly so that we go with what we know. And that's the thing we must change. And change, my friends, is the range, my friends. And I'm telling you, it's dynamic. And the time is now. The time is now, ladies and gentlemen. It really, truly is. All right, dude, follow, like, subscribe. You can actually check the links below. You guys can get this shit for $8 a meter. You can construct houses like the ones I just showed you for $10K. You can work under the umbrella of the most diverse, intelligent, spirit-tipping agriculture systems in the world, ranging from Costa Rica to Argentina. We are here, ready to get you involved now. But if you just want to have an epic morning, instead get our coffee instead of the other coffee. Veteran-owned, South American pure. And we're going to turn that coffee into a high-bred morning drink of another level, using better stuff, giving people a clear road from tannic acid to other acids, because you don't want just one acid for your whole entire life that tans your liver. And we've shown at autopsy. Anyway, we pay attention, deep attention to nature to understand everything better. We got a lot of nature to pay attention to. There's a lot of greats to stand on top of, but be careful, would you believe? Biological sciences are some of the most effed over, rewritten, screwed up sciences in the science game. You would never think. I love it out here. You're never going to be bored. It's constantly humbling. Nobody's going to know everything out here. That's going to be impossible. It never gets boring, you know. The information exchange is on high. right? But damn, you get on the internet and start looking stuff up, and you're like, whoa, these people have no idea what you're talking about. And then they come down to talk down to you because you don't have some mouth sound memorized like they do, that some other guy made up, or the paper that some other guy wrote, or whatever. And then they're your senior all of a sudden, and then it's like time to walk to the top of the hill, and they can't do it, you know? And they got a spot on their iron shirt, and they're like, fuck this. I'm changing my whole career now. Anyway. Yeah, man, we're supposed to be tough people, ladies and gentlemen. We're supposed to know nature, ladies and gentlemen. You've been so far removed, you know. I think even, like, why does the church not have cultivation and exercise as part of the church? Well, I bet it's really because those were such baby boo-boo basics back then. They're not even worth mentioning. They don't really get referenced too much because this is just normalcy. Now, in our society, parental alienation is normalcy. You want to see like in a mouth sound that doesn't apply whatsoever to the meaning? You know? What's parental alienation? It's kidnapping and brainwashing. Oh, yeah, I know about that. That's going on everywhere. Right down the street, right down. Well, what are you doing about it, sir? This species right here is called Alamanda. Alamanda is a species. People use it. I can tell you all the species everywhere. I'm one of the only ones still. And you can be one too. Shit. Actually not as hard. There's not as much. I mean, there's a ton out here, but you can actually figure it out pretty good. I bet you haven't heard that before either. Why isn't there fruit trees planted all the way down the highways? Why are truck stops not independent power grids producing incredible foods and electricity, making us stable and strong against what the Sean Ryan podcast identified as our biggest weakness, the power grid, right? Anyway, so listen, guys, it's time to go back to nature. NutritionalDiversity.com's got a nature series. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here with me. And, how can we? This is like my Jesus intensive. Dear Lord, we love you. We thank you. We're always thinking of you. Thank you so much. And we will say the rest of this in the language of actions throughout our day. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.